correctly with the correct amount.
D20 Radio, where gamers roll.
www.d20radio.com.
Welcome to Me and Steve Talk RPG, the podcast where me and my friend Steve...
We're playing games this time.
Before we begin, I want to take a moment to acknowledge something important. The setting of this campaign, Origin, is inspired by West African cultures, histories, and aesthetics. None of the players, and certainly not myself, have lived experience or even ancestry from that part of the world. While Origin is part of the canonical setting for Exalted, I've drawn on real-world West African traditions to help bring the setting more fully to life. This isn't meant to be an accurate historical or cultural portrayal, and it is definitely not a commentary on any real-world nations, peoples, or beliefs. One key difference is theological. While Timbuktu and the surrounding regions were deeply shaped by the arrival of Islam, Exalted has its own divine and mythological structure that plays out very differently. My hope is to approach these inspirations with respect and care, and I welcome feedback if I fall short. In the session notes, there will be a short list of resources to learn about the real history of West Africa and the Sahel. Thank you. All right. I guess we can start playing then.
I would say that my chances of staying out of this mess, whether it's your mess, their mess, whoever's mess, probably vanishingly small, because a dead body turns up, people talk about who was there, what they saw, and then people start putting pieces together. So I am happy to follow you, at least until perhaps we can figure something out, and I can figure out if I'll need to be looking over my shoulder for the next however long I'm in the city.
Very well. So yeah, I think we go for a wander around this Ivory Road Gate district.
All right. So where in the district are you looking for first? The tea shop or?
So is this the gate that we would have come in when our caravan got here, or are we like on another corner of the city, so to speak?
Give me a moment. I will answer that in 1 second. All right. So you probably would have entered into this gate, yeah, as well, because the southern gate is the main gate, and this is the one that's on the north.
Okay. I don't know. I mean, I feel like, I don't know. What do you think, Ben? Tea house or the boarding house, or are they close together?
I'd say if the argument started at the tea house, check the tea house.
There.
All right. So this is someplace catering to travelers and foreigners. It's advertises authentic Ontang tea, which is a land several thousand miles away that may be sending tea there, but you don't know. And the wait staff has obviously, they've immigrated. They look like the people of the Mayu coast, down to the blue hair of the Mayu people. So, I mean, think like an East Asian style tea house dropped into the middle of this West African inspired city. Mm-hmm. Most of the clientele are foreigners, and you hear a number of languages being used in low conversations here. Mm-hmm. The hostess greets you and invites you to be seated. at an open table.
So, yeah, I think Cyclone will, when they come around, order a tea of some sort. I'm sure he has something he prefers or something they recommend. Kind of trying to scope out the room and sort of hear if there's any sort of jabber that might pertain to our situation. Just keywords type thing, not...
The majority of the conversations you can overhear are going to be mercantile in nature. Mm-hmm. As a place that caters to foreigners, the number one group of foreigners in origin is merchants. And this place caters to folks from the Mayu Coast, folks from Ontang, but also people from the Lap. You can hear several different dialects of Fire Tongue. You can hear some Sea Tongue. You can hear a couple of different languages in here.
I think I have Flame Tongue and River Tongue. River Speak. But I think just honestly, casually making small talk, between us, honestly, it probably just feels nice to sit down, have a cup of tea. But probably, unless anyone else has a plan, I wouldn't want to, make an extra long time of it. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
I mean, he'll check to see if there's anything of alcoholic beverage, which probably isn't, and then
there isn't.
And then order whatever Cyclone's ordering, just for loss of something else to get. Mostly just kind of like looking around and trying not to look completely like a bull in a china shop.
Yeah, I mean, they do serve some light snacks, but yeah, nothing alcoholic.
Doesn't really look like the kind of place to have a argument, like a big scale microwave event.
Well, it might not have been a loud argument, which is why he only overheard part of it.
Are there many children about, or boys of, you said, like 12, 13-ish probably? Or is it almost exclusively an adult crowd?
It's largely an adult crowd. There are some, like, younger folks present, but they're mostly on the, I guess, patio, the outdoor area. So.
Okay. So, little bit. What does your friend, what was his name, Toma? What does he do? Does he work like you as a guide?
He shakes his head. He says, "No, he's like every merchant's son, always looking for a good chance."
So he came here for what then? Just to see if he could overhear something to take back to his father.
Overhear something useful. He's also got a bad habit of picking pockets. He learned just because it was interesting, but he goes ahead and does it just for the thrill.
Not the well, it doesn't seem to be the type of city where you'd want to do that too much.
No, it's he probably assumes that his father's name will get him out of any real trouble.
So his father is a powerful merchant, or
rich, well respected, well known.
Is he a friend of your uncle's, or?
Yes. Yes. Uncle is moves in those circles.
So, I'm trying to think too. So, would he have told us if, like, the voices he heard arguing, would they have been more local dialects, or were they obvious foreigners? Did we get that information? Was that information given?
No.
Okay. I'm a little bit at a loss of kind of, other than go to look at the next place, and what else to do here. I mean, it almost feels like this was just a place where he happened to hear something, but doesn't feel like there's any sort of lead here.
What information are you hoping to find here? The argument, the subject, the people arguing?
Frankly, I more want to know if we're going to have trouble following us, if we know what we're looking for. You know? Don't take well to people preying on youngsters.
Fair. In a place like this where there is business of all kinds transacted, there are always others who overhear, especially those that are invisible. Excuse me for a moment. Let me try something. And I'm going to stand up and kind of make my way over to whatever passes for the hostess stand, the bar, wherever I can find an employee whose job it is to answer questions.
You can find the manager pretty easily.
Okay, and I'll approach him, her. Excuse me, but I am a physician, and I just recently had a patient come in with injuries that may have resulted from an altercation, and one of his friends said that he had been here earlier today. I was hoping perhaps you or one of your staff might have noticed an argument, or perhaps some people who were having a difference of opinion, perhaps over over a pot of tea or a discussion.
So she looks at you for a moment and says, "It is not typically profitable to listen too closely to the customers' conversations."
Oh, no, of course not, because that's bad for business, and we don't want to interfere with either the cash box or your reputation. I'm not asking what anyone was arguing about. I was just hoping to find out perhaps if he was here with someone else. I don't know. I can't necessarily... I'm just trying to follow the trail. I diagnosed him, and now I'm simply trying to figure out what led him to being ill and injured under my care. And yes, I realize I'm stretching the definition of care until it snaps, but...
She looks at you and just sort of taps the counter a little bit.
And I will cheerfully pass over I'll lay my hand down just about where she tapped, and then when I draw my hand back, there's a small bit of coin or whatever the local currency would be for small bills. Okay. Mm-hmm. And just leave it casually on the bill, not looking down at it or anything.
She says,
I'm not terribly amused at this.
Was this argument you believe happened something that might have happened early this morning?
That sounds right, from what I've been hearing, right, John?
Yes.
Indeed.
She nods and says, "There was a heated conversation. It was quiet, so I didn't hear any details, but body language speaks volumes, does it not?"
Of course.
There were 2 men and a woman. The woman was dressed as someone from Origin. The man was dressed well in silks. He paid the bill. He had a slight gem accent, and he wore these bracelets with opal pendants with a little flame carved in them. The other man is a... I don't know. The other man I did not know. He had the look of a caravan. One who spends a lot of time in the desert. You know, a caravan man.
Yes. Thank you very much. And I will nod politely, and I'm going to slide over a small, like, pouch of coins.
Mm-hmm.
I would and I'll just say, you know, to use for the tea house as you see fit.
She says, "You are most generous. Thank you." And she wanders off.
And I will head back to the table, and apparently your friend may have overheard something interesting. And I will proceed to lay out the information. I can recap it if you want, or we can leave the exposition there.
Yeah, I'm good with leaving it there unless, you know, you really want to repeat it.
No, I'm good, thanks. I'm good.
Now the pendants, the flame mark pendants, for some reason that's in my head thinking there's something I should be connecting there, but I don't know if that's just my brain doing Steve things.
I would say it is probably your brain doing Steve things. This is the first time you've heard of these pendants in this game.
Cool. I'm quite... Yeah, that's a good explanation for me.
John?
Yes?
This gem accent, the gem accent and the flame... The flame motif, is there anything that might connect those two?
It's not it. Okay, so in Gem, both great noble houses and smaller houses have used symbols like that. So this isn't one of the, like, you know, this isn't like the symbol of Gem or the mark of the despot or any of the major noble families, but there's a lot of symbols in use by different people from Gem.
Okay, I just didn't know if it was, you know, like, I mean, you know, we're all hustlers, so I didn't know if it was like, oh yeah, I recognize that. It's a big, you know, it's an aggressive company or whatever.
Mm-mm.
Okay. Well, hardly suspicious in its own, but given the other things, I think we need to, and I'm drawing a blank on, what was the uncle's name again?
Little Bet's uncle?
Yes.
Lazari Nashon?
Yes.
Sorry, yeah, okay. I feel like we need to have a conversation with him maybe before the meeting.
Mm-hmm.
See if any of these names, whatnot, we picked up mean anything to him. You know what I'm saying? Like...
Mm-hmm. You could do that?
I don't know. Anyone else got thoughts?
I mean,
Well-
good. Sorry.
No, go ahead. I'm kind of thinking out loud, so go ahead.
That's kind of what I'm doing. I mean, it sounds like you know, if we want to, I don't know how much we're going to be able to pursue on our own at this point. So it sounds like a good idea to go touch base.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
So, heading to... so Little Bat shrugs and says he can take you to his uncle's business, and it doesn't take too long, and you guys get in to talk to him, and he says, my friends, what can I do for you?
Well, we were out and about with your nephew today, and some rather interesting goings-on, shall we say. Also, we have a friend that has found us through the circumstance of our travels. Player question here. Do solars inherently recognize each other or anything like that, or...
You guys have picked up that she is a solar, and she has realized that you guys are.
Okay.
It's not inherent, but you can't be around each other too long without noticing.
Okay.
Unless you're going out of your way to disguise yourself.
So I think then if we could maybe rewind at some point and briefly give Saelen a without any sort of compromising information, obviously, a rundown of what we've sort of possibly become involved in, just so that she's aware of what she may have gotten herself into.
I have no problems with that.
And actually, this actually might be kind of a good time to... I actually have an idea about that. As you're talking to this man who, and you say, I've picked up a friend, or no, before we're going to meet the uncle, I'm assuming that you said something about, this is our friend's uncle, he's a powerful nobleman or rich merchant, whatever.
Rich merchant.
My friends, and I'm this maybe at the tea house, wherever you want to put it in. My friends, I appreciate you allowing me to come with you. And I am also appreciative that you would like to give me more information. I think that we perhaps have more in common than just this circumstance, but I want to make sure that you are comfortable giving me the information that I think you're about to. And I will make sure that I am facing a wall or something so not a lot of people can see, and I will flare my cast mark very, very, very quickly, like blink and you miss it.
Okay. And
that way we can also, because then now it's a solar thing, and then we can see about the info dump. Sorry, did I step on anybody's toes?
No. The one thing that I as a player I don't completely understand the whole, like, this is all of my third session of Exalted ever. So, like, I'm not real, like, I don't know the world that well. But does this cast mark indicate something of significance other
Yes.
than...
The cast mark will indicate, one, that she's a solar. Second, it'll tell you what caste she is. And in this case, she's a twilight caste. They're known as sorcerers, sages, doctors, the intellectual types. Craftsmen also.
Okay.
Mad scientist. Mwahaha.
I think the gist of the dump, because I don't know how much, you two may have talked about what's going on here, is essentially that his uncle is troubled by Gem having basically diplomatically overrun Origin and from what I understand, most of the region. And his bigger concern, aside from the economic implications of that, is that the gods seem to have abandoned them through this happening. And he's asked for our help in doing something about that. Is that along the right lines, John?
Yes. He has asked you to join a conspiracy that would that is working to counteract Gem's influence and eventually free them from Gem's rule.
And then, I would also add in that through our findings, we've discovered that the taxation under this gem rule is roughly double what it previously was. You can obviously, you've seen how the populace interacts with the guards who are mercenaries paid by gem and so on. So yeah, anything else anyone needs to add into that conversation before we rewind back to where we are?
No, I think that gives me a good basis, and to be fair, John and I actually didn't talk that much.
Okay, look, I didn't know, and I didn't want to retread. I also feel like we haven't been fully briefed on exactly what's going on, but just so that you're in the know in terms of what we're talking around saying, I guess is a better way to say it. So I think with that, then once we're with his uncle. So, well, it seems a friend of Little Bat's may have, he put himself in danger, and that ended up with us involved. Does the name Madhu Jarek mean anything to you?
He says he's a importer for gem, mostly deals in uncut gems, I believe.
Well, that tracks. And I'm assuming we've gone back into like an office or something at this point. We're not.
Yes.
Okay. Well, so according to what his friend told him, what your nephew's friend told him, he overheard a little bit of an argument sometime this morning. We actually ran into him on the edges of the bazaar, and he was being followed by a man who, well, to the best of reading the situation, intended to kill him.
And he raises an eyebrow, looks at Little Bat, and Little Bat just sort of nods. He says, Toma, and he goes, Toma Albaz? And Little Bat nods, and he says, interesting. As it happens, Rafiq Albaz is a good friend of mine, and while I'm sure Toma has given him of what he knows, he would find it would be very useful if you could find more information about this.
To make a long story, well, not terribly long, really wasn't much of a story, we simply tried to slow him down, this pursuer, while Little Bat and his friend disappeared into the crowd, at which point, well, he tried to stab both of us, and then, apparently died due to some sort of poisoned bead in his mouth.
And he looks very concerned. He says,
there was a turkey leg involved.
That is very strange.
It was a good turkey leg.
And to be clear, the turkey leg did not poison this man. The turkey leg was not involved in the poisoning at all.
Well, I hope you threw it away and didn't eat it after that.
Of course not, he threw up on it.
Oh, well, that's interesting. Do you have any clues that you might investigate?
Well, on his person, he had two things. He had a receipt from the Gem Cutters Guild addressed to this Jarek fellow, and actually at this point, I think just pulls out the scrap of paper with the sigil on it, and this. Or actually, at this point, I think we just lay them both out, unless you guys think we should not do so. But if you're saying Jarek is a gem importer, this would make perfect sense for him to be dealing with the guild.
And he looks at it and says, if I had a reason to take a large sum of money to a guild, and I had someone with the skill set you describe, I think I would be most comfortable having them make deliveries of the actual gold or silver in this case. I think that is what this receipt means. But this, that's a date, 212, and then that's a merchant group. They mostly sell supplies for your camel, even some medicines for sick camels, ropes, tents, all manner of caravan supplies. But they did recently buy a boarding house, and they're using their consortium sigil as the sign.
Okay. So perhaps this is just a room that someone was staying at, or
Perhaps. Have you been to it?
not yet. We did manage to. Well, we went to the tea house where Toma overheard the argument, and best as we can figure, it was an argument between perhaps a local woman, apparently a rather wealthy merchant, probably gem, and either a caravaner or a desert dweller. We suspect may have been what it was that he overheard. Are there any groups you know of planning on doing anything drastic?
He looks and he says, I don't know of anything like that. Something drastic.
Well, because apparently part of what, and kind of look at that little bat as he says this, apparently part of what he overheard was something about a shipment of fire wands being apparently smuggled into the city.
That would make sense. Origin law requires any fire wands brought into the city that are not the personal property of an individual guard or something like that to be registered, and for the sale to the end user to be tracked. They also require disclosing quantities of fire dust larger than a certain amount.
And perhaps I'm seeing things that aren't there, but I would also say that an excellent way to smuggle... Sorry, she thought I said snuggle, not smuggle. To smuggle items such as fire wands and fire dust into a city might be under the guise of caravan supplies. And if this is a caravanserai, or a caravan merchant rather, that's been frequenting this, and they've become friends with the guards and the inspectors and all of that, it makes it easy to get them in.
Yes, that would be very convenient. Also, briefly mentioned the pendants with the flame design on the merchant as well. Is that something of which a specific house, being as we're not from these lands, is that a particular trading house in Gem or something?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
Seems peculiar, but I like where you're going though about the caravan supplies being a perfect way to smuggle things. Or yes, that's very, very possible.
I'm going to quickly remind you that one of the phrases Toma heard was, the flame ones come in with the sugar shipment.
Ah, okay. Steve had forgotten that, so I would have.
So did I.
Yeah. So yes. So sugar shipment and something about the warehouse under Rufan.
That sounds like a name. I mean, obviously it is obviously it's probably not the real name of anyone, but, and he sort of shrugs, probably whoever either owns or rented the warehouse.
So, do you know who trades in sugars and such in the city? Is that a large number of people, or?
Yes, it is, because the sugar is grown in the basin, the Ama River basin, and so sugar can be brought in, processed into a variety of products, and then sold on. We even export some raw sugarcane to certain places.
Well, okay, so this is almost like sugar is a major export then of this city. Like processed sugars.
A export, yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so not that's a.
That won't narrow it down.
Yeah, that's where I was. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I just couldn't say it. And yeah, so that's not a flag pointing us in any direction. So the basin, is that also to the north?
The Ama Basin is to the most of it is to the west, but yeah, there's parts of it where it makes sense to come into the city from the north or the south.
Okay, so it's essentially we're on the edge of it. Origin is on the edge of the basin. Okay.
Yeah, Origin is technically within the basin. Like the Ama River comes to Origin, and there are docks, riverside docks. So.
All right. I'm trying to think here. I feel like trying to stake out a sugar shipment is going to be insanely difficult / pointless.
Says, well, you'd have to know which sugar shipment it is, and that would take some more investigation. It seems to me that you have this boarding house, and you have the name of that
Gem merchant,
Madhu Jarek. Perhaps one of those avenues might prove more fruitful.
Yes.
I wouldn't suggest confronting Madhu Jarek publicly without evidence.
Oh, heavens no.
And very strong evidence at that, for he is from Gem. And even the prince herself is reluctant to cause a conflict with Gem over such things.
So, I feel like our best point of... I just thought... I don't know, I feel like our next step then almost... I don't know where else to go but the boarding house.
That seems the next logical step.
Yeah.
I agree.
Narrow this down.
We kind of bid him farewell, wrap up the conversation, thank him for his information, and yeah, I think head that way.
So, are you guys headed to the boarding house then?
I believe so.
All right. When you get there, basically, like, there's a small business office, and the rest of it is just a hallway with doors on either side. And there is a second and even a third floor to this building. The doors they're wooden, they're latched, but I wouldn't say locked. Mm-hmm. And carved into the wall, into the plaster of the walls next to each door is a number. 3 digits.
Mm-hmm.
Starting from 101 and going to 132. And then on the upper floor starts with a 2, and so on and so forth. Yes, for my convenience sake, they have invented the modern American system of hotel room numbering.
So, as we're on our way there,
Mm-hmm.
2 things. One, I'm assuming you said we had accommodations basically in a caravan, right? So like
A caravanserai.
That's basically what like a mobile tent city.
No, a caravanserai is a place where accommodations are arranged, and there are facilities for warehousing equipment and stabling camels and all that.
Okay, so it's
kind of like a support base for a caravan.
Think of it kind of like a medieval gas station combined with self-storage.
I was thinking combination truck depot county fair without the carnival aspect. But it sounds like we're on the same page. Okay. So I think but is that actually outside the walls of the city, or is that within?
Yours is outside the walls. This one is inside the walls.
Okay. So I think while we're on our way there, don't know about you, but I think perhaps I'll go ask to rent a room, being as, well, I'm exactly the type of person they cater to. Or perhaps you've been, I don't really care, but one of us rents a room, and we'll see what we get from there first. But we're all quite obviously not local, so we wouldn't draw any suspicion.
Okay, like I said, there's a business office sort of area, and there's a boarding house keeper sitting at a desk.
Then we'll go in and try to get them a room. It's kind of go in and bang on the front desk.
She says, "Need a room?"
Yep, I do. My companions and I looking for something comfortable.
Payment in advance. No loud noises after sundown. And if you're going to bring hussies in, that's extra.
Then just kind of, yeah, okay. He'll fork over whatever the cost is for it.
Well, how long are you renting for?
It's a couple of nights.
She nods and says, "Well, 116's open. Y'all fit in one room?"
I guess we'll have to.
Good. She writes out on a slip of paper today's date, numerically, and then 116, and then she melts some blue wax, stamps it with her stamp, and on the back it says 3 days paid. She hands it to you. She also hands you I don't want to say a key, because then you start thinking of a modern style lock, but it's basically a bent iron item that's used for lifting the latch. She says, "House is not responsible for death, injury, theft, or anything else. There's a strong box in the room. Use it for anything you care about." Got it?
Not simple enough.
Any questions?
I think we understand each other just fine.
Have a nice night. It is like 4 in the afternoon. It is not nighttime yet, but have a nice night.
So he kind of walks away and walks up to Cyclone, just kind of shows him the slip. It's like, does that look familiar?
I'm guessing it sounds like it looks identical to what we found, with the exception of the date and the room number. Was there anything about how many days paid or anything on the one we got?
No.
Okay. So I say, well, let's go check out the place. But what I'm looking to do is there a lot of traffic in and out, anything like that? Because ultimately, I want to sneak upstairs and check out 212.
There's not a ton of traffic right now, but the stairway is not up front by the desk. It's on the back end of the building.
Okay, that's
so.
Like
you could duck upstairs without her really noticing. She's barely paying attention anyway.
Well, technically, I have the slip that goes to it, and I'm wondering if that is more of a permanent thing, since it doesn't say anything about days paid. But so yeah, like basically, I figure now we've got legit access to the building, and at some point, I want to go up and check out the room that this apparently leads us to.
Okay. do you want to do that now, or do you want to like come back the next day or do it, or what?
I mean, I don't see why we need to come back. This also gives us a place to stay for a couple days inside the walls.
Yeah, true. So the room 116 is the 116, the one you actually rent. It is not much. It is a couple of pallets on the ground. There is the promised strongbox, but it's not huge. And there's a couple of, like, I want to say, like, they look like hat racks, but it's for hanging your robes on. And that's really about it. There's a latrine facility down at the end of the building. There's a chamber pot in the room. That's, actually made of metal.
I would like to take a quick look at the strong box, just to kind of familiarize myself with the mechanism type.
It's the type that you would classify as keeps honest people honest. A thief with any talent or training would be able to pop it open in moments.
Okay. That's kind of what I suspected, but I also wanted to just see if, for reference, when we go to the other room, if it's the same thing, that was where my brain was. So I think, it probably in not too short order, I think we, or at least I am going to let the other two know, I'm going to go check out the other room. Suppose having one of two of you to watch for the back would be a bad idea.
I'll keep things quiet down here.
All right.
And I will hang out.
I will going to base an assumption that the second floor is laid out exactly like the first floor, and thus I will have a rough idea of where I'm going, so I'm not wandering aimlessly. Can go like I have a purpose.
Okay. So yeah, you get up there, and you see like one client, and he does not appear to be paying attention. There's really not a whole lot, I guess, going on in this particular part of the building. So what you do get is that you find that the door it's latched. It's latched. It doesn't look like anybody's like tried to get in recently.
Take a quick listen to see if I can hear anyone inside, but my intent is to try and go in like I belong there.
A listen does not. You hear nothing in there.
Okay. I'm guessing with Larceny 3, I can probably pop this latch also. Or does the same tool work?
The same tool would work.
Okay, well then, I'll just do that.
So, all right. This doesn't look a whole lot different from the room you were in. It's a little more lived in. There's a small bag with some personal effects next to the pallet that was probably used. You look around, you see that the strong box is standing open, which you kind of respect, because if you were operating out of a room like this, you wouldn't put anything, you just put a couple of coins in the strong box to act as a decoy. Your real valuables would be hidden elsewhere.
So at this point, close the door back up, and I want to give the place a pretty thorough going through, look for any sort of hidey places.
All right. Perception, investigation.
All right. And you know what? I'm going to spend 2 more personal on this one. Okay. 4 success.
Okay. You find, for one thing, under a floorboard, you find a sort of hollowed out area, and within it is a ledger book The other thing you find is a loose brick in the wall.
Okay.
And behind it, you find a bag, a silken bundle. It's silken bundle. Okay, it's a couple of probably letters in a silk cloth bound with a deep blue string with a small wooden tag.
Okay.
And also a note that's just folded over.
Okay. What does the note say?
To the kind or the curious, should I fall in service to Gem, I ask this. Send the enclosed letters to my wife Kaifa in the weaver's quarter of the High Bazaar. The dust is hers, not yours. Take it without fulfilling my last request, and may the gods mark you with shame and famine. Send it, and you carry a blessing beyond coin.
Okay. So reading that, the bag then would, I'm guessing, feel like dust?
Yeah, it's got gold dust.
Okay. Okay. So flipping quickly through the ledger book, because I don't want to spend any more time here than really necessary, but what type of entries are there?
Well, they're mostly small. They're payments with payments to different people with marginal annotations of courier, guard, and the titles of like minor officials. They're the kind of, it's like he was bribing people and was keeping a ledger of expenses.
Okay.
Two recent entries. One says Rufan, 30 dinars, warehouse number 32. And another one right below it, Red Fangs, 120 dinar, delivery insurance.
Warehouse
32.
32.
The Red Fangs will strike your, you will recall, are the ones that Little Bat had described as, if you see them in the bazaar, don't go in there unless you really need to, and if you do your business and get out.
Okay, and that notation, so 120 dinar, what was the rest of that notation?
To the Red Fangs for delivery insurance.
Okay. And then real quickly, you said the personal effects. That indicate anything that other than, this is probably where the guy who died by a turkey leg lived?
Yeah, the only thing of real interest you find is a vial, a heavy ceramic vial with a stopper.
Okay.
That's sealed in wax, and there's another one that's open and empty.
Okay.
But it's been carefully set to the side, like nobody wants to trip over it or something.
Okay. I think I'll probably take that vial, just because. And with that, I'm just gonna take the note, leave the bundle in the bag, and at some point I do intend to just send them off as requested.
Okay, so you're taking the note, the bundle, the bag, the vial,
and the ledger book.
And the ledger book. Okay.
But I'm leaving personal effects. I just wanted to more get a read of. Yeah, is this what I just said? That's what I was suspecting it was. Basically, just taking the hidden things, leaving everything else. In fact, maybe like you had mentioned, just drop a couple coins in the strong box, and then leave like I belonged there. Come back down to the rest of them.
Yep.
And then just quietly, well, it appears to be where a mystery man lived. Did find some more information, and pull out the vial and kind of hand it towards Saelen. I believe this may be more of the substance we encountered earlier.
I'll look.
It is sealed with wax. Are you breaking the seal?
Yeah, I'm sure if we need to have the wax reapplied, there's a somebody in the city that can do it if it becomes incredibly necessary.
Inside is a powder that is silent hand, unmixed, either with liquid or gum arabic or anything else. It's just pure silent hand.
Oh, damn.
Yep. It's a dark green powder.
How thick are the walls in this place, or is this kind of your typical boarding house? You wouldn't want to have a conversation here that you didn't want people overhearing.
Well, the exterior walls are kind of like the standard thick mud brick walls. The interior walls are the cheapest and thinnest you could possibly purchase and not have anybody fall through the floor or through a wall by leaning on them accidentally.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I think that, well, I suppose it's getting on about dinner time now, I suppose. Shall we go find some things to eat? And more like saying that is, to anyone who might be listening, and then obviously head somewhere and discuss the ledger book, and when we're in a place that we can at least be more aware that we're being observed.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty easy to find a place.
Whatever our meeting is. Yeah,
the meeting is after dinner time and after sundown.
Okay. So then I think, basically I'll just, I'll maybe go over the ledger in a little more detail, but like you said, those two most recent entries appear to be related to what we're doing.
Okay.
So unless anyone else wants me to, repeat that out, I think we can just go with your description of it.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
So it would seem this person is... I wonder, with the description that you were given, would that potentially match this potential assassin as one of the three people of the argument? The description is
you don't think so?
Okay.
Because he's not wealthy, dressed in silks, and he's also not. He didn't have the look of a caravaner.
Okay, that was the person I was thinking it might have been. All right, so
Hey, John, I have a question. How intelligent is Hellbor?
Relatively.
If I were to ask him and give him general directions, would he be able to, go to a particular part of the city and look around and then come back?
Yeah.
Okay. So, are most of the warehouses, is there like a warehouse district?
There are several.
Okay. And I'm sorry, this may have been mentioned and I haven't filed it away. Did we have any idea which district the the warehouse and Rufon might have been from?
No. Rufon is the alias of whoever apparently rented it, and all you've got is a warehouse 32.
I would posit that perhaps we're looking somewhere in this Ivory Road Gate area, since they seem intent on coming in that direction.
Ooh.
But that is just a theory.
There is a warehouse district that is probably 10 minutes from the Ivory Road Gate.
Okay. In that case, as we're kind of discussing this, I think perhaps I might be able to save us a bit of a trip to the warehouse.
Okay.
And I'll gesture to the bird that's been on my shoulder the entire time.
We shall have to introduce him to Spots, so that Spots knows he is not food.
I would appreciate that, and I'm sure he would as well. But perhaps I can give Hellbor the directions, and he can look around a bit. Perhaps see if there is anything interesting happening in that particular warehouse district.
Seems reasonable.
Halvor looks at you and says, "The things I do for you," and takes off out the window.
I'm going to send back a very, yes, dear.
So, need to find out who this Rufon character is, and perhaps I shall have to try and meet some people. Huh?
Well, you've got about enough time to actually get dinner before your meeting this evening. So
Yeah. So yeah, like I figured this conversation was kind of happening over dinner.
yeah, okay,
It was in my head. I don't know that I said that.
yeah, that makes sense. Totally makes sense.
So, yeah, I mean, anyone else have anything to add in here? Although, like you said, it looks like this ledger is a list of bribes. It's just names, though, you said, right? Which largely wouldn't mean much to us.
Right.
Is something to run past the uncle again?
Well, the uncle or his group of merchants might really know some of these names.
Mm.
If there's those among them that, we can trust with that kind of information anyway. Him at this point, I think I trust pretty well, but,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, then I think, to me, it sounds like are we fast forwarding to meeting, or were there other things that need to happen?
I think we can. Well, Hellbore does come back and says, "It's a warehouse, mostly empty. Bunch of humans hanging around. Guards, maybe."
Okay. Did you notice any designs on their clothing?
No. Weren't wearing
Okay.
same clothing.
Ah, okay. All right. So, okay. Well, that was my plan. So we know that there's some humans around.
To be expected, really, but good information nonetheless. So, but your bird was able to give us a specific warehouse to look for?
Well, you gave
Yes.
the bird a specific warehouse.
Okay, I didn't know if that was
Yeah.
actually like an address type thing, or...
Well, not so much, but in districts where they are a bunch of warehouses, and a lot of foreign caravans coming in, they're like numbering them in
Okay.
large white paint letters, just so that you can deliver it to somebody. Doesn't have to go, okay, well, it's the third warehouse after the warehouse that used to be red, or some nonsense like that.
Right. Okay, so if we're in the right district, we know what building it is.
Yes.
Okay. Well, then, you're joining in this effort, or at least hearing more on this effort that we're being involved in here, Saelen?
I'm perhaps too curious for my own good, but yes, I want to see where this goes.
Fair enough.
All right. So, Little Bat knows where it is. He can't go into the meeting. He's read into the conspiracy, but he's not privy to conversations among the actual council.
Mm-hmm.
Intro and outro music by the band 12 Noon. You can email us at meandsteverpg@gmail.com. You can find us on Twitter and RPGs. Find us on Facebook at Me and Steve RPG Podcast. On Discord at Me and Steve RPGs. And as always, all of these links are in the show notes. Thank you, and be kind to one another.
How much for the cigar?
Cigar, $20, dog. You gotta go down the street to the store and buy that.
And this, ladies and gentlemen, proves the old saying, or the GM advice of never give your players red herrings. because they'll come up with enough red herrings on their own.
Well, I feel bad that like I've been like dominating everything today.
I'm trying to shift the spotlight around a little bit, but
Yeah, well, like
You're definitely the investigator. I was gonna say, I'm sorry you're kind of carrying the weight on this one today.
no, it's okay. I just like I always feel bad if I'm like because I am aware that my personality will tend to take over, and so I consciously try to not do that.
No, feel free. Ben is just not really the strongest for an investigation. He'll step up when he needs to.
I feel like Parviz might honestly probably be our better investigator type. I mean, I'm not bad at it, but
I can't wait to regale him with how we killed somebody with a turkey leg when he gets back.
Oh, look, I will tell you, Steve as a player will find that absolutely hysterical.
Or he's gonna, I went to go pray and you beat someone with a turkey leg?
to death. I don't think anyone's surprised that Finn hit somebody with a turkey leg. The fact that he hit them hard enough that they died, that's surprising.
And see, last Sunday we went and saw the 50th anniversary showing of Holy Grail. And somehow hitting someone with a turkey leg and they died, it fits into Monty Python and the Holy Grail, even though it was never there.
Yep.
Oh, it absolutely does.
Well,
we beat him with a turkey leg.
It never would have been in the movie because John Chapman,
Graham Chapman.
Graham Chapman, thank you, would have murdered whoever suggested it because the man actually has a degree in medieval history and turkeys aren't native to Europe. Fortunately, I can use things from wherever because we're not on Earth. And so if I want to have turkeys being raised agriculturally, I can put them wherever on the map I want.
Right? Well, okay, well, that actually makes sense then why I didn't realize that turkeys were, so to speak, a North American thing. But that explains why Ben Franklin originally wanted the turkey as the national bird.
Because it was a uniquely American type of bird.
The wild ones may be pretty wily, but the domestic ones are big, stupid chickens.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, like every other domesticated animal, we do not breed them for brains. We breed them for breast meat.
We raised a batch of turkeys once, and we had chickens a lot while I was growing up, but and chickens are stupid, but the turkeys were even dumber.
Chickens are mean.
All right.
So should Finn buy some more turkey legs?
All right.
If this was a less seriously toned campaign, you should start just randomly beating people with turkey legs.